We're still a couple of days away from live-action Cowboy Bebop's release, and I've been pretty critical of it so far. I think the trailers look mediocre, I'm not a fan of the actors, they chose to play such cool characters, and a lot of the action looked really cheesy, but there's been a bit of news because the costume designer admitted that they went into this project knowing they wanted to portray Faye differently, and early critic reviews aren't positive for the series. I have a couple of different articles that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month or supporting via memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So I'm going to start off with this article about Faye and her character design, and it says Cowboy Bebop costume designer felt resistant to make Faye Valentine overly sexualized like her anime version. This is something I've talked about a couple of times now because I've been very critical of the fact that they changed Faye's design and they completely remodeled her outfit, but it says Netflix is getting ready to launch its live-action version of Cowboy Bebop next week, but some fans of the original anime series are still concerned about some of the changes the show will make from its source material. One of the biggest complaints on social media is Daniela Pineda's costume as Faye Valentine in the live-action series. In the original anime series, Faye is known for her sexy outfits and femme fatale persona, but the Netflix show is portraying her differently, and I didn't like this as soon as we heard this. Faye, like it says, is a very sexy character. She is a femme fatale. She has that persona, and that is part of Faye. You know, when you see Faye, that's what you think of. But now they're changing around the outfit, they're changing around her attitude, they're changing around the character, and I really don't like that. It says, however, Jane Holland, the costume designer for the series, recently had an interview with Insider in which she defended Faye's costume. The sort of threads that I was pulling on to kind of draw it together came from the same place and the same thought process that I had to go through for Spike and Jet. I actually don't think Spike and Jet look that bad. I do have issues with the actors themselves, but looking at their costumes, I think that Spike's is pretty accurate, and I also don't completely hate Jet's. I feel like it does look a little too costumey and a little too cheesy, but I don't hate their designs. It says, she added, I feel like it's a respectful rendition of the anime. I do have to say, as a woman, I felt resistant to the idea of a lead female character being gratuitous or overtly sexualized. It's not about it not being revealing. It's not about any of that. It's actually got all of those elements. But my take on it is that it's designed by a woman and it was made by a lot of women and it's worn by a woman. So the same elements are there, but they have just manifested in a different way. So yes, as you can see, the designer basically admitted they threw away the source material because as a woman, she felt it wasn't being respectful and it was overly sexualized, which I think is such a dumb excuse to change around an outfit. They literally could have said no matter what we did, a direct replica of the original anime looked silly, so we tweaked her outfit. And if they were honest, yes, people would still be disappointed, but by saying they changed it to respect the woman wearing it just makes me feel like this designer and also the actress don't respect the original source material. Scrolling down, it also says in September, Pineda took it to an Instagram story to respond to the backlash with of course, an apology. It was a fake apology. She wasn't really trying to be genuine about it. She was basically saying, oh, I'm sorry they couldn't find someone with big boobs and a 2-inch waist and someone that was tall like Faye. And again, she showed off how little she actually cared about respecting the source material and how little she cared about what fans really wanted. We've already known they went into this with a massive Faye redesign because they said, oh, a real person has to wear this outfit, so they toned it down, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous. I am not a fan of Faye's Birds of Prey level design here, and I see no reason why they couldn't have put her into something closer to the original costume she had. And on top of that, they went on about how, oh, a real person needed to wear it, so they had to tone it down, yet they've got her in an extremely sexy dress that shows off a lot of skin and cleavage in the teasers and the show in general. I have no problems with the dress itself, but when you're changing one outfit because it's too revealing, yet putting a dress in the show that's just as, if not more revealing, it makes the changes seem even more pathetic than they already did. And of course, for months now, we've all been wondering how Cowboy Bebop was going to turn out. We've all wondered, is it going to be amazing or is it going to be a disaster? And right now on Rotten Tomatoes, it is sitting at a 43%, which is terrible. I wanted to read a couple of the critic reviews that are here. Lots of people saying it just wasn't good, like we all expected it to be. A soulless remake of a landmark anime series, one that is constantly drawing attention to the original, while changing enough to take away the impact of what it's trying to emulate. The next one is also a rotten. All of these are rotten reviews. All of the gorgeous visual effects, colorful sets, and clever costuming and color choices just end up becoming fancy decoration over an otherwise hollow experience. I am so disappointed to hear this because when they announced live action Cowboy Bebop, I was so hopeful. I was thinking maybe it was going to turn out to be amazing. Maybe it was going to be really good. Maybe they'd turn it around and it would be fantastic. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it was perfect or amazing or even good. Another rotten, a 1.5 out of 4. The series feels more cartoonish than the anime that spawned it. This is truly so heartbreaking to hear. I was hoping they were going to go in more of a Firefly direction. It was still going to have comedy and a lot of lightheartedness that the original series did, but it was also going to have that intensity, that seriousness. It was going to be great, and it's just not. At least it doesn't seem like it is. The next one gave it a 7 out of 10, which is pretty decent. They said hopefully a follow-up season shows more confidence in the production. Still, for now, I was happy jamming with what they cooked up. A couple of 3 out of 5, 7 out of 10s here, not complete negatives. The next one said while the series delivers a faithful homage to the original source material, with absorbing visuals, intense action, and some magnetic performances, it still falls into the trap of predictable storylines that lack satisfying payoffs. The next one is a 3 out of 10 that literally says Netflix's Cowboy Bebop feels like a slap in the face. This, I'm sure, is not what Netflix expected, but Netflix doesn't have a great track record with live action adaptations. They really, really don't. They've done a terrible job in the past with things like Death Note. A lot of people are worried for things like One Piece, and now Cowboy Bebop, it seems, just isn't the adaptation that everyone was looking forward to. So a top critic from Slate said if this Cowboy Bebop accomplishes anything, it's to highlight the quality of the original series, justifying many anime fans' belief that trying to translate anime series from one medium to another never works out. And this is what fans have been saying. Yet, of course, a lot of media has been attacking fans who are skeptical of the series, saying, oh, you guys are just haters, you're looking for something to dislike, you want to bring this adaptation down. But there are critics who are literally saying anime fans are right. You know what? Maybe their beliefs are true, that trying to translate anime from one medium to another doesn't work out. The Verge said there's something undeniably stylish about it, even when the show's reach sometimes extends beyond its grasp. Entertainment Weekly gave it a C+, saying the fight sequences are pretty fun, and there's some impressive camera work like a tracking shot through a disintegrated spaceship, but it's still doesn't quite live up to the power of the original series. Now, I personally didn't expect them to outdo the original series. I didn't expect them to make something that was better than the original series because it was truly an experience, fantastic, such an amazing anime, but I expected them to do maybe 50% of what the original show did, maybe be half as good. Doesn't seem like it, though. The next one by a top critic gave it a 2 out of 5. Instead of feeling like a fun remix, Cowboy Bebop is at its best a just okay cover version, and for the most part an out-of-tune rendition of the greatest hits. Now obviously, I'm really curious to see what the user scores are going to be, because sometimes there is that discrepancy where critics give something a terrible rating and then the users give it a fantastic rating, so maybe I'll watch it, maybe I'll love it. Once I've seen it, I'm definitely going to talk about it again and read some of the reviews that are going around online. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, subscribe to the channel, and of course if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.